Truth for the battered but proud people of the Empire State. From the financial and entertainment epicenter of New York City to the sleeping and empty small cities and towns of upstate, which once bustled with manufacturing, mining, and farming. We all know from inspiration, history, and nature, we deserve a return to the success and growth of generations past, a birthright being squandered by corruption in Albany, and the depredations of an insecure, scheming mountebank posing as governor, who loathes both us and himself. As liberty beckoned to enslaved peoples behind the Iron Curtain via American broadcasts after World War II, we now say, believe, rise, and join us. Welcome to Radio Free New York.
Hey guys, welcome to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister, and we are here as usual in the WYSL studio, and I have Bob Savage here with me.
As the old ad used to say, take a puff. It's springtime.
Yeah, it is springtime. It is looking absolutely beautiful out there. And I even got a chance to cut the grass yesterday.
Oh, you're going to get plenty of chances in the next month or so.
Oh, yeah. I think it was like 7 feet tall
exactly.
or something like that.
You need to have your pith helmet on.
Yeah. This morning I walk outside and there's all those dandelions I thought I cut down. They're all there. But
they like exploded onto the scene. I noticed like a little clump of them over by the edge of the parking lot a week ago. I was like, wow. Yeah. It's like these things have got like a little calendar in their little dandelion offices.
Yeah.
May 1st, okay, let's bloom.
Time to go. Yeah. No, it's crazy. Even just driving through Henrietta and stuff. There were a few plazas I drove by that was like a nice green carpet of grass, and then there were others that just looked like a total field of dandelions. So
yep.
They're coming out for sure. So those of you guys who are joining the show here, I know we've got some people are starting to fill in here on Facebook, some people on YouTube. Looks like Ricky's joined us on Twitter. So guys, thank you so much for joining us here on the show. And of course, our listeners on the WYSL stations, 1040 AM, 92.1, right? Yeah, 92.1 FM.
Yep, you're getting it.
And 95.5
yes.
FM. See, there we go.
You got them.
So today, and Dan is not just on the live stream, he is also listening to us on 1040 AM. So he's listening in both places.
Isn't that a little confusing?
I don't know.
It's like a little
good.
encoding delay, maybe?
Who knows? But the live stream is great because people can put their comments in and their questions and stuff. So I bet you he's probably got the computer muted so he can fire away some questions and comments while he's listening on the radio. You guys, today I'd love to hear from you guys. So I've got some stuff to tell you guys about with the Libertarian Convention that happened this weekend, some other exciting stuff to share with you, but I'd also like to hear from you. So throughout the show, if something piques your interest or you've got a question you want to ask, give us a call here in studio. That number is 585-346-3000. I'll give it to you again, 585-346-3000. And if you're calling from outside the area, you can call 866-552-1009. Once again, that's 866-552-1009. So before I jump into the Libertarian State Convention, because I know there's a lot of people that might not even know what the Libertarian State Convention is, I want to address some comments, some messages, some little rumors going around. You guys have been constantly sending me messages saying, would you consider doing a long form show? Would you consider doing more shows? And I will tell you guys, there may or may not be something happening. We don't know yet, but what I will say is over this weekend, I did talk with Larry Sharp, and he also encouraged the same thing and suggested that we create a Patreon account to build up support for something like that. So I'm not going to tell you guys exactly what that would look like yet, but what I am going to do is post in the comments here. So what we're looking for is some grassroots support to help make something like that happen. So what Patreon is, it is a website that allows creators to basically raise support for their show. And that's what I'm asking you guys to do. So I'm posting it here in the comments for you. Head on over to Patreon. And if you can help us grow the show, I'd appreciate it. We've already got some commitments today. I sent out to a few people. Within 5 minutes, we started raising some money.
That's for this show.
So that's for this show, Radio Free New York. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I've got to donate to that. So it's Patreon, Patreon.
Yep. So Patreon. So if you were to go to patreon.com/RFNY, so Patreon spelled PATREON.com.
Patreon. I got it. Okay.
Patreon. .com/RFNY. There's a few membership levels. You can select one. It's a monthly support of the show. What you guys are going to get out of that is not just supporting the show, but I'm going to try to do some stuff maybe once a month or so, and Patreon's got the software to allow us to do this, where I do a video or an event. Maybe Larry Sharp and I get together, we host something somewhere, and the people who are members supporting the show monthly will get kind of a secret cool invite to that sort of thing. So that's so that's the benefit of membership. There's various levels. People can give what they can afford. If what you are looking for is not on there, you can click custom amount, put in whatever you want. We're not going to turn anybody away, but we do want to build some more support because you guys are asking for more of me. So I'm going to ask you guys for more of you to help make that possible.
You know what would be cool? Just thinking out loud here, right live on the air. So you're getting to hear me think. Yep. Who'd have imagined? So, yeah, how about we do a live event, as you talk about, which we could have a live broadcast on location there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We can do all sorts of things. We can do some pretty cool stuff, and the technology keeps advancing. It allows us to do some really, really neat stuff. So once again, asking you guys to share this with your friends, share this with your family, and then Larry and I are going to push for a fundraiser on this a little bit later, probably later in the month. But I'm asking you guys as my core listeners, my core supporters, to consider heading over to Patreon and helping us expand the show, essentially. And then later we'll tell you guys what that's going to look like. So enough about that. That's, and part of this, just so you guys know, during one of the live streams we did, or one of the radio shows we did, I think it was last week, somebody joined the show kind of mid-show. They joined it right at the beginning of the commercial break, and their comment was, wow, there seems to be a lot of commercials. When do we get to hear Andrew talk?
What?
Yeah, and it compared to other shows, it wasn't a lot of commercials.
There's not a lot of spots on this show.
No,
there's not.
There isn't. But you guys have the opportunity to make it so we don't need to seek commercials. If you guys support the show monthly, I can spend my time developing more content for you guys and less time hunting down people to advertise and support the show. So that's where part of the idea came from. And the rest, the actual app and stuff, that actually came from Larry Sharp. He's like, you know what you need to do? You need to do a Patreon. I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
It's like GoFundMe for I guess, political kind of...
No,
radio show.
It's just for content creators. So musicians use it. A lot of podcasts. That's how podcasts are being funded.
I see.
And it's just kind of like, if you enjoy the content, I'll give you guys an idea. The grassroots supporter level, $10. So you say, oh man, I really love Radio Free New York. I want to see more from Andrew. I want, to hear him more often. I want some exclusive content. I'm going to sign up to donate basically $10 a month towards Radio Free New York. You sign up online, first of the month, they debit you once a month. You're supporting Radio Free New York. Every once in a while, I send you some cool stuff that nobody else gets, maybe some additional content, and that you're helping make this show possible.
And also, you're helping raise awareness about what needs to happen politically in New York State so that we get out of the ditch that we're stuck in. And boy, we are literally stuck in a ditch.
Yeah, no, and that's true. And that's really what this show is about. So right now, I'm actually getting about once a week, I'm hearing from people that I don't even know listen to the show. So they're either seeing it online, or they're hearing it on the radio station, or they're hearing it through podcast after the fact. And I get people that come up to me in public, not just in Monroe County, but I'm still traveling the state. So people who I meet throughout the state, hey, you're Andrew Hollister, aren't you? Yeah. Hey, I listen to your radio show every week, and I believed something, and they'll tell me what that something is, and then they say, but then I heard on your show you talked about that same subject, and you presented actually my point of view. You presented the point of view that I opposed, and then you presented a point of view that I never considered. And after thinking about that, I decided, yeah, that's the right thing to do.
Changing minds.
One
at a time.
And then usually they go on to say, and then I told my brother and my sister and my...
Oh, you know what? I'm so glad you brought that up. Ladies and gentlemen, that is so important for you to do that, because that's how we grow something like this. That's how something like this becomes successful. And you just do it. I mean, you don't have to do it to 100 people. You don't have to make it a part-time job. Just talk to the people in your field of acquaintances, your family, your friends, your co-workers, the guy next door who's always borrowing your lawnmower, and get it, or breaking it, right? And just tell them about the show, and then that helps us do more of what you like and get the truth out there.
Yeah. So basically, I guess what I'm saying is, if you guys want to see these type of results continue and maybe help us grow these results, I would love your support. So go to patreon.com/RFNY and make a contribution, whatever works for you. And we're going to take a break here. And then when we come back, I'm going to give you guys an update on the Libertarian State Convention that happened this weekend.
Very cool. By the way, let this radio station that you're listening to know that you appreciate their carrying Radio Free New York with Andrew Hollister, who will return in just a moment.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A reminder from Abate Monroe County. American bikers aim toward education. Distracted driving is dangerous, so pull over and eat. Don't try to read your mail and newspaper, and stay off your cell phone. Make a mental note to be more alert, making it a habit to expect the unexpected. Remember to look twice. Save a life. Train yourself to watch for motorcycles which are harder to see. Join Abate, and your family will be protected with a free $4,000 accident policy. Ride safe. Ride free. Ride often. Abate. If you ride with us. Google Abate Monroe County.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
You're listening to Radio Free New York
on the WYSL stations.
Boy, I'm glad that horrible long commercial break was over.
Very long.
That's excruciating. I took a little nap.
I went up the street. I got myself a Coke, came back,
Rotated the tires on my car.
So, guys, we're here. We're back on Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister, and what we're talking about now is the Libertarian State Convention, which is really driven actually a lot of excitement, not just for people across the state, state, but for local candidates, for people who are really, really excited about having a viable alternative on the ballot this year, which is really cool. And I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit about that because a lot of people don't know how Board of Elections works in New York. So we'll just talk about that a little bit. But before we do, the Libertarian Convention that happened this weekend, and this is kind of confusing, so this is why I want to explain this to people, was for the Free Libertarian Party of New York, Inc. So it's a corporation, a nonprofit corporation. So before the Libertarian Party became an actual official party in New York State, there's just a nonprofit that was essentially a political nonprofit fundraising, making money towards gaining ballot access so that they could become a real party. So that convention that happened this weekend was actually for essentially a nonprofit corporation that helped build this party along the way.
So that's not the political party per se.
Exactly, which is what confuses everyone.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's kind of a unique situation, and that's why I wanted to talk about it on the show, because people have been confused over the last few months. So this corporation, the convention happens every year for the corporation, the same way it would for a party. They do very similar things. They just weren't a party yet. So now that there's a party, there's technically two separate organizations, Free Libertarian Party Inc., or Free Libertarian Party of New York, Inc., and the Libertarian Party. So with that being said, Saturday, there was a business session to kind of determine the fate of this corporation. Should it exist? Should it not exist? What will it become? Who will the officers be? So that happened. Officers were elected. Everybody who was elected was obviously people who have been active for a number of years. And it sounds like, and I can't say for sure because obviously the new officers will put together their proposals, it'll be voted on, but it sounds like that organization will be converted into a PAC, like a political action committee.
The corporation will.
The corporation, yep, will be converted to a PAC to support candidates across the entire state. Now, the unique thing about this PAC is most PACs don't necessarily have the infrastructure that the corporation has because they have chapters all across the state in every county. So what you're looking at is, and not every county, but most of the counties. So what you're looking at is creating a PAC that has county level infrastructure, but is a statewide PAC, which according to some people, and a little bit Libertarian Party insider baseball stuff, but it's good for you guys to know that there's essentially going to be multiple levels of activism. I mean, people are so excited about this. We had really, really good attendance at the convention, people who are what you would call like credentialed members, people who were able to come in and vote. And then there was a good number of people that weren't credentialed members, just general public who were excited. They showed up. They wanted to see what was going on. So that is really, really cool. And it's very exciting to see how that's going to go. It'll be very interesting to see what level of activism this new this old organization that now has a new purpose, what they're going to do. So that was very exciting. The second day of the convention was actually for the political party to have their committee meeting. So it is kind of interesting. So you've got two organizations working together for the same common goal, and that stuff was good. A good number of candidates across the state received their endorsements. Monroe County is now an official committee. They can start doing their endorsements. So what you guys will see in the news probably in the next week or two is my guess, is that in Monroe County, you're going to start seeing some libertarian candidates being endorsed and press releases going out. And maybe even we'll get some candidates on the show, them and their opponents, and let them, give them some Nerf swords or something and let them duke it out. But yeah, so that's really, really exciting. What was exciting is also the number of candidates that are coming out and saying, we want to be a libertarian candidate. So just to give you guys an idea, I know the state vetting committee has, I think, 30 plus candidates to still vet on top of the ones they've already done. And in Monroe County, I think the number we're up to is 39.
Whoa.
39.
So that would be like at the town level, the village level,
so
county
the
level?
The towns and the villages are starting to come out. We thought we were almost at the end. We had interviewed justices. We had interviewed a lot of county ledge seats. We've interviewed some of the bigger seats like district attorney, county exec, things like that. And then the towns found out. And so now the town people have started to kind of come in. So yeah, some town council, town supervisor, like those sort of positions, people are coming in. And you figure if we try to keep each interview to half an hour. And that, like, try not to exceed that. So on 39 candidates, we've already spent close to 20 hours.
Yeah, really.
Not to mention the prep time and everything like that. And the numbers keep flowing in. So
how does that compare with previous years? Do you know offhand? Or
previous years, the at least in Monroe County, maybe two. Like two at the most.
39 versus 2.
Yeah. So
that's a bit of an increase.
Yeah, huge increase. I've also been told that the Libertarian Party registrations as of February have doubled statewide. So they went from, I want to say it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 or 15,000 to we're already above 20.
Wow. So let me ask you this. Would libertarian candidates appear on multiple lines in elections? Say libertarian conservative. I can't imagine libertarian Democrat, but I suppose it could happen.
It could happen. It may happen. You just never know. So yes, the answer is yes. Now there are many people in the Libertarian Party who believe that libertarian candidates should run libertarian only and nothing else. And there is some merit to that. There is, and we can talk about what that looks like. And then there are other people that think it's in the best interest of the party to cross-endorse and do what's called a fusion candidate, a candidate who's on the Libertarian line along with the Republican line, the Democrat line, the Independence line, the Conservative line, whatever that candidate happens to be. So there always has been dispute in the party over what is the right thing to do.
Or maybe there could be a transition, where you do fusion candidates for a finite period of time, 3 years, 5 years, whatever.
Yep.
After which, no more of that.
Yeah. So when I ran my city council campaign, for example, I ran as a fusion candidate. I ran as a Republican, a conservative, and a libertarian. So I ran on those 3 lines. I think I had the Reform Party line too, but they don't exist as a party anymore. They didn't make it this year. So I was a fusion candidate, and there was a lot of resistance, but I was able to overcome the resistance and become a candidate. Last year in the gubernatorial election, we ran libertarian only. That's it. So it can work both ways. And you will see, I believe, I can't confirm anything just yet, but I think you will probably see in Monroe County a mix of libertarian only candidates and some fusion candidates as well. So, and then there'll be probably a decent number of candidates that they don't get the libertarian endorsement.
Sounds decidedly upbeat, like you've got a real story that's unfolding here.
Yeah, no, it is actually very exciting, and there are some candidates that I'm actually extremely excited about. So I'll be really happy to, if they make it all the way through, which I think they will, to share them with you guys, and we'll have some fun with them for sure. So that's a little bit about the state convention. That's actually a little bit of background, I guess, on the party.
How was the turnout?
The turnout was great. I mean, so we had 91 credentialed members by the end of the day, which is pretty good. On an off year, I think it's significantly less than that. On the on years, like gubernatorial year, you'll get 2-3 times that easy. Presidential year, you'll probably see 2-3 times that. But an off year, especially a year after a really intensive campaign, people typically would opt to just stay home and watch the live stream instead. But no, we had the room filled at the Radisson. I mean, it was filled up. And there's actually some pictures. If you guys check out my Facebook page, you'll see there's pictures. You'll see the room full. You'll see Larry speaking. You'll see me teaching a class. I did teach a class on the business of running a campaign. And somebody kind of chuckled in one of the comments on one of the live streams when I talked about the business of running a campaign. They're like, yeah, it's a business. And it's like, well, there's actually a lot of legal requirements. You have to create a committee. You have to report your finances to Board of Elections.
More to it than you think. How was the Friday night cocktail hour?
Friday night was good. I don't think I left, or I don't think I made it home till probably 1-ish in the morning, if not later.
That's a good sign of a party.
Yeah.
Now, was Larry there for that too, or was he just there Saturday?
No. So Larry flew in Saturday morning, and then he left Sunday afternoon. So he didn't make the cocktail hour, but it was his daughter's birthday. I wouldn't ask him to miss that.
Yeah, it's understandable.
So, yeah, absolutely. So, all in all, it was a great time. Very exciting. A lot of stuff unfolding here. And we'll talk a little bit more about it. And then when we come back, you guys remember that Simpsons bit we had on Friday. I'm going to tell you what happened with that when we come back here.
And real quick, give them some contact information. They want to learn more about the Libertarian Party in New York.
Yes, the Libertarian Party. Let me make sure I got this right. It's either lpny.org or, lpny.org. Go there. You can check out the Libertarian Party. There's a join, donate button, a get involved button, and a whole bunch of other good resources there. I will catch you guys here in a moment on Radio Free New York.
You're listening to the voice of liberty. WYSL. AM 1040 Avon, Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, FM 95.5 Spencerport, and WYSL1040.com everywhere.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
We'll treat you like a family at Mark's Pizzeria. We'll treat you like a family at Mark's Pizzeria. Great pizza, fresh and good. Simply the best in your neighborhood. Come in, we'll get to know you. Call you by name. We can bring it to you any time of the day. Mark's Pizzeria. We'll treat you like a family. Mark's Pizzeria.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester
coming back
years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Radio Free New York on WYSL. AM 1040, FM 92.1, and FM 95.5 West.
All right, guys, welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister, and I want to welcome a whole bunch of you guys to the show here. So here in the live stream, I see Dan, Joe, Donna, Beth, Kendall, Lee, Carrie, Mike, and I've got over here, I've got Ricky as well. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here on the live stream. I know it doesn't show me everybody's name, so I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to give you a shout out. But if you comment in the section, I can see your name, and then I can give you a shout out. Now, we were just talking about the Libertarian State Convention, and we're about to move on to the Simpsons thing. But before we do, Carrie posted in the comments, and I want to give a shout out to Carrie. Carrie is actually one of the people who has already jumped on to the Patreon and signed up as one of our monthly supporters.
Awesome. Thank you, Carrie.
Carrie, thank you so much. Carrie is pushing for 100,000 registered libertarians in New York State. So, guys,
well, that's a good goal.
Yeah, it's a great goal. Carrie's been pushing this since, I think, probably December. And Carrie is actually a big reason that the Libertarian Party has seen so much growth. She helped a ton on the Sharp Hollister campaign. She's been pushing for this voter registration drive. She's doing a great job. So let me just tell you guys real quick how you can register Libertarian if you want to. I'd love it if you do that. So you can do it through the DMV. You can update your voter registration online through the DMV. You can print out a voter registration form right from the Board of Elections website, fill it out, drop it in the mail, drop it off at your local Board of Elections office, or you can just stop by your local Board of Elections office and fill out a new voter registration form right then and there. There should now be a little checkbox that says Libertarian. You just check it right off, hand it in, and what you'll notice, you'll get in the mail a letter from Board of Elections, and it's going to tell you that you can't change your voter registration until the end of this year. And the reason for that is there's a not so well known Board of Election law in New York State that basically says that you can't change your voter registration mid-year. It doesn't reset till the end of the year. So basically, you put in your voter registration form today, you'll get recorded in the numbers, but it won't be official until I think it's December 1st, November 30th, something like that.
Let's see, who would have been behind a rule like that?
Yeah. Now, there is one maybe valid reason for it, and then I kind of agree with it a little bit, I guess, but at the same time, I think it conflicts with freedom of association, which is our First Amendment, right?
Yeah.
So the reason, at least this is what the major parties say, that they did this is they didn't want people changing voter registration multiple times throughout the year, especially right before a primary. So what they didn't want to have happen was a bunch of Democrats switch to Republican, a bunch of Republicans switch to Democrat, just to vote in the primary to choose the worst possible candidate and then switch back at the end of the year. So I see it kind of, but I do think there's a conflict with freedom of association, which is our First Amendment rights. So I've got an issue with it, but I can also see the logic.
Well, and then there's also the unintended consequence of, and also it prevents people from, God forbid, changing to Libertarian.
Exactly. Yeah. Whether that was unintended or not, has to be a separate question. But I will say that most other states don't have that rule. You change your voter registration and it is changed. But New York State has a lot of other garbage rules and laws that other states don't have, like scaffolding law. And, for those of you who aren't familiar with the scaffolding law, I don't know if Eric is listening in, but Eric loves it when I talk about the scaffolding law. He's normally a 1040 listener. So if you're listening, Eric, here's looking at you. The scaffolding law essentially hurts small businesses, it hurts contractors, it makes the cost of construction really, really expensive. And the best way I can kind of one-line it for you guys is that if you're in construction, you're working on somebody's home or they're building, gravity is your fault, and you're responsible for all gravity, whether it was somebody else's job to prevent it or not.
It basically is called strict liability. That's what happens. If something bad happens on the job, in your work site or whatever, even if the worker's being a total doomcoff and not taking ordinary care, too bad for you.
Yeah.
You get to pay for it. Yeah. And it's because the insurance premiums are so prohibitive, it's put many It stopped many a project from happening in New York State, and has put some businesses out of business.
Yeah. So I talked with a developer, I think he was from Texas, and he said that they were looking to expand into New York. They thought that they were going to create jobs here. They thought they were going to do projects here. Then they started getting into it and the scaffold law, and he said, listen, I can put up a building in 6 months in Texas. 6 months. He said, when I came to New York, not only would it take 2 years to do that same project, it would cost 300% more. So there you are. So we're paying for this because I tell you what, if the construction company's paying for it, guess who's actually paying for it? Well, if it's a government job, us, the taxpayers.
Yeah, look in the mirror.
Yeah. If it's a private personal job, guess what? It's still you. We're paying for it. And the only people really making out on this are going to be Cuomo's cronies and the insurance companies. This law is, I think, 97 years old or something like that.
Yeah, it's just a gimme to the labor unions and to organized labor.
Yeah, and all the other states in the United States have repealed
and plaintiffs' attorneys, of course.
Sure, yeah, of course. Everybody's got to get their cut here in New York. Everybody's got to get their cut. So speaking of Cuomo and his cronies, we played the Simpsons bit on Friday where the Simpsons ran about a 2-minute little song bit, really just burning upstate New York. I mean, poking, jabbing, and there wasn't anything we could dispute there. You kind of look at it and go, yeah, that's home.
That's true.
That's home. It's true. Yep. So an unfortunate thing happened. YouTube actually took down the video for copyright infringement. So I had to take the video, edit it, cut their audio out, and the video piece too. What
about fair use? I mean, we can't.
I guess fair use only applies to 30 seconds, and since it was 2 minutes, would it be
too long?
Yeah, it was too long, basically, or at least that was what somebody else explained to me. So in the future, I will keep the things down below 30 seconds. I did get the video re-uploaded without the bit in there, and all the content's still there for you guys. And then there's a link to the video if you want to see it. But Cuomo actually responded to the Simpsons bit, and just his response was so incredibly lame, nobody really aired it. Essentially, he just kind of said, well, I've never seen the Simpsons. and that's basically it.
You know what, Andy? You are the Simpsons. You don't have to see the Simpsons.
Yep. So that was Cuomo's extremely lame response to the Simpsons. And I tell you what, they brought up some really, really just bad stuff. It's going on in New York. I mean, you see them cruising around in their car, and there's giant sinkholes in the road and bridges collapsing, and, all the stores shutting down. And, they emphasize the opioid crisis that we're going through right now and problems with disability and welfare. It was actually put together pretty good. I found that
it's a lot of it was true. I mean, especially the part about people on disability, which is really, when it gets really hard to find a job in an area, some people, their scruples kind of become a casualty because they've got to make the mortgage payment.
Yeah.
And they've got to live. So what happens is they wind up on, finger quotes, disability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that really highlights just the level of issues we have here in New York, that it's more advantageous to go on a social program than it is to work. That's really not how it's meant to be. Like, people should have the appropriate motivation to do something self-fulfilling, because if you're not actually out there working, you don't feel self-fulfilled. I guarantee you, most people on disability, whether they should be there or shouldn't be there, I'm not going to say whether they should or shouldn't, but I can guarantee you they're probably miserable. They have nothing to fulfill themselves, nothing that they can say that they're working to achieve. I'm sure there are some, but I think the vast majority of people probably at some point or another had something that they were good at, had something that they wanted to do, and they got stuck in this cliff where, if you were to get a job, you'd make this much. But right now on your benefits, you're getting this much. You're getting so much more that there's like that cliff there that by stepping off benefits, you're worse off. And so you lose motivation for things. You start to become depressed. You're not going to want to leave your home. Maybe you do want to leave your home, but you have no purpose. And, not having purpose basically puts you in a situation where you don't do anything. And I think that's a big, big issue here in New York. Not to mention all the people who can't find a job, can't find purpose, and what do? They leave New York. They go somewhere else. They got to find a state that does have economic opportunity, that has a better education system. And I know some people think we've got a really good education system in New York. Guys, we'll go through the numbers again in another show, but we've done it many times. We rank 33rd in the nation for our high school and middle school, our public education system.
And by the way, that takes the whole state into consideration. And when you get into the cities, if you just separate out the cities, it's a train wreck.
Yeah. If you look at strictly the cities, you're looking at 49th, 50th in the nation. I mean, it's really, really bad. All right, guys, we're going to take another quick break here on Radio Free New York, and we'll be back here in a moment.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
I'm Las from Action Towing and Service. The people really make this place incredible. I feel at home. I love what I do. I love the people that I work with. The owner of the business is actively involved. He is a veteran. We have a very close relationship with all of the staff. Every employee there is known by name, and we really, really work hard on giving that home feel or the family feel. Please give us an opportunity to win your business. Come down and visit us at 275 Marketplace Drive, right off of Jefferson Road.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your web doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
You're listening to Radio Free New York
on the WYSL station.
All right, guys, we are back here on Radio Free New York, and just scrolling through the comments, I've got a few more people who have joined us online. So Jody, Darren, Valerie, thank you guys so much for joining us here on Radio Free New York. Valerie, Patreon. Yeah. Go to patreon.com/RFNY. Become a monthly supporter of the show. That will help us out tremendously and make it possible for us to to bring you more content. And that's really what we're hoping for. So I'll actually post that link in the feed here for you guys. Valerie says, sorry, she missed us on Saturday. Valerie, we missed you too. We wish you could have made it. There's always a next time, though. So, guys, thank you so much. And, of course, to all of our listeners on the WYSL channels, you guys rock. You guys keep us going. Thank you so much. So we were just talking about Cuomo and his really lame response to the Simpson bit, which was basically just that he never watched The Simpsons before. And they responded back basically saying kind of like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I think the producer said, hey, anytime you want to come to LA and watch something, you can come here and see it.
Maybe Andy hasn't heard of the fact that you can watch it on television.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't know. Yeah. Or he's just trying to figure out how to tax that still. That's the thing.
So he has no interest. There's no tax money coming.
Figured it out yet. But it's interesting because his brother, who is a CNN anchor, which I think some people know, Chris Cuomo, has suggested that his brother should quit politics and enjoy his life. Which, I don't know how many of you thought when you woke up this morning that you'd agree with one of the Cuomos.
Wow, Chris Cuomo's onto something there. If Head Case quit and stopped politics and enjoy his life, Chris could stop being on CNN. Notice I stopped short of calling him a journalist, which he's not.
It's funny that you mentioned that because a few people said that in the comments. They were like, yeah, and he should follow his own lead and stop pretending to report journalism, and
great minds think alike.
Yeah. So there were quite a few. I posted that, I think, earlier today, and there were quite a few people in the comments thinking, like, yeah, I agree with Chris Cuomo. Who would have thought? Andy, get out of there. But it was pretty funny. So he was on Stephen Colbert, and basically, that's what he said. He said that he should just quit politics and enjoy his life.
And we'll enjoy our lives
and
better.
Upstate New York will enjoy that thoroughly. I mean,
now we don't have to worry about Governor Eric Schneiderman. God save us.
Yeah. Well, isn't he gone now? Right? Eric Schneiderman, he's gone.
Yeah, draw a line through him. He's toast.
Yep. So he's gone. It would be great.
We've had a great run. I mean, Elliot Spitzer, Schneiderman, Cuomo.
Yep. Yeah.
Just great guys.
Yeah. So certainly something to not aspire to. That's for sure. And
by the way, speaking of that, did you want me to do this thing?
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, this falls broadly into the category. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the show, off the air, actually. And this falls broadly into the category of we really need to insist on better choices and better candidates, because otherwise you wind up with the likes of John Roger. Now, John Roger is a congressman, a Democrat congressman from the great state of Alabama, and he came out with this gem on abortion. And you may want to, both hands on the wheel if you're driving, and if you've got a cup of coffee, put it down, swallow, because you got to hear this quote from John Roger about abortion. Here it is.
All I'm saying to you, it ought to be a woman's choice. I'm not about to be, as a male, tell a woman what to do with her body. She has the right to make that decision herself. To rape or incest. Some kids are unwanted. So you kill them now, kill them later. You bring them in the world unwanted, unloved. Then you send them to the electric chair. So you kill them now, I'll kill them later. But the bottom line is that I think we should be making this decision.
John Roger, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so he says there, if I understood right, he said kill him now or kill him later.
That's exactly what he said. Kill him now or kill him later. I think he's trying to make a point. The second half of his of that despicable statement was because the society is so terrible and is so prejudicial and so slanted against African Americans that they're, if we let them live, they're just going to wind up in the electric chair.
Yeah, I thought I heard him say with the electric chair in there.
Yeah, you kill him now or they wind up in an electric chair. Kill him now, kill him later.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to point out, he sounds like he's drunk.
Yeah, I don't know him. That's the first time I've ever heard him speak. But geez, that's terrible. I mean, why would you assume, by any means, that a child is going to grow up to be a criminal? I mean, just to start off to say, yeah, if you don't have this abortion, this child's going to grow up and become a criminal and worthy of the electric chair. I mean, that's just.
I know. Words fail you.
Words for that.
How did somebody like this ever get elected?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tribal politics. It's just, well, you know something? His skin is the same color as mine, so I'm going to vote for him. He's one of us. Even though the man's obviously a total moron.
Yeah. No,
I mean, to believe that kind of stuff, and then to just blithely talk about it publicly like that.
Yeah.
Where is the media outrage about John Roger?
Mm-hmm. Well, and to me, that just speaks to, so many things. Because if somebody said that about, I don't know, eugenics or, genocide or, they're going to die anyways. Let's kill them now or we're just going to kill them later.
Kill them now, kill them later.
So, people would be extremely upset about that. It would be all over the internet. If you
imagine Mike Lee or Ted Cruz or Lindsey Graham, if they said something like that.
Oh yeah, they'd be crucified. I mean, literally crucified. A career would be gone. You'd be the front page of everything you don't want to be the front page of, for all the things you don't want to be. People petitioning for your removal, your resignation, your everything else. That's terrible.
It's astonishing.
Yeah. And also, going back to the assumption that, person, I believe in second chances.
Talk to Tim Tebow and his mom, because Tim Tebow, of course, was in danger of being aborted, and mom decided not to. Mm-hmm. And then you go on and on and on. I mean, there's actually an organization of abortion survivors who were actually aborted from their mom's body and lived to tell about it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's a big organization. I can't remember the name of it. And it's these people... These people tour the United States. Well, the recent film that was just put out, Unplanned.
I remember hearing you guys talk about that. I haven't seen it, but I remember on another show hearing you and another host talking about the show.
Unplanned is a must-see, I think, for anybody who has young teens. And if you have young teens, take them to the movie too. Don't believe all the, don't be scared off by the R rating, which was just given to the film to disincent you from taking kids who can learn from this film. But the star of that film is a young woman from, I think she's from the Carolinas, Ashley Bratcher. So she signed on to do this movie, to play this role, and decided otherwise at the last minute. And just the fact that she had landed this role in this film prompted her mom to come forward about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know who else has a really, really compelling story? And you guys maybe have heard of it, but, local story here in New York anyways, Larry Sharp, who ran for governor last year. That's why adoption was such a big part of the figure it out or have an abortion. Yeah. Those are really the two options.
And you can tell how well this is working, by the way, by the stats that prove beyond a doubt that in New York State, there are more African-American abortions than there are live births. Really? More pregnancies are terminated in abortion than result in the birth of a child, a live birth.
No. Yeah.
Which is a tremendous human tragedy.
Yeah. And I firmly believe there's people that'll argue with me about this and from all sides of the political spectrum, but I firmly believe that there are many, many people that if adoption was a viable alternative, they would seek that route. They totally would. And that's why I believe. I've got other people tell me, Andrew, you're wrong. People who have an abortion, they're going to have an abortion anyways. It's this or that.
Oh, that's demonstrably untrue.
And I don't believe that to be true. I believe that if adoption and surrogacy were readily available, many, many, many people who choose to have abortions would instead choose adoption or surrogacy. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Radio Free New York. I will catch you guys on Friday. Friday, we're going to talk about Cuomo's new $175 million job effort that smells like startup New York all over again.
Here we go.
All right, guys, I'll catch you Friday. Thank you so much.